So as you succeed in career, business, how are you also succeeding in family?
It's not easy. By the way, it's actually not easy. The reason I say that, first of all, by moving family, you're already disrupting spouses' careers. That's first. You have to understand that. So then now...
And what year is this that you go?
I went to 2015.
So 2015 to 2018?
2018, yeah. And then, so let me give you the context when I went to Nigeria. So context is, I've just been redirected from a market that where I would have been living in Sydney Harbour, near Sydney Harbour, to live in Lagos. By the way, also we are living in a fairly good place, actually. You know, Banana Island is not bad. But the second is, it was the time when the oil crisis happened. So the oil price was like $30. So Nigeria was in a crisis. Currency was a problem. We could not access any currency and so on and so forth. So in fact, I used to say I went in the eye of the storm. So you're dealing with a currency issue. Luckily, this time, I'm not a rookie CEO. I've had 4 years of CEO in Ghana. So I was at least able to heavy lift a number of the big issues that were there for the 3 years I was there.
The oil being the biggest?
The currency issue being the biggest. Because effectively, oil was the consequence of the oil thing was the currency. So borrowed money, then did a rights issue and so on. So like now my finance background comes back. Had to do a big re-engineering of the business. But big competitive dynamics started to show up, because that's when AB InBev bought SAB Milan and all these things. So we were, and actually very competitive market. In Nigeria, we were partners with Heineken. In Ghana, we were partners. In Nigeria, we were direct competitors with Heineken. So the intensity of competition, and that time I was a challenger. So when you're a CEO, you need to be aware, are you in a company that is a challenger or a leader in a market? So like Safaricom is leader.
Yes.
EABL is leader. In Ghana, it was like 50-50. In Nigeria, Guinness was number 2. Heineken was much bigger.
Wow.
Yeah. Guinness itself was big even in the
comparison,
sense. But Heineken, at one point, Guinness and Heineken business in Nigeria was 10% of their global business. So it used to be massive. So you have to learn as a CEO. If you're in a market where you're a challenger, you play differently from when you are a leader. So even when
and this is your first situation being a challenger?
This is my first situation, although in Ghana it was 50-50. So the challenge was, the head-to-head was there. And also because Guinness is very distinctive in Nigeria, there was a bit of buffer. But it is a very different mindset. So again, what are the transitions? Promotion into a bigger role, much bigger market. You're on the grid because this is a very big Guinness market. So global guys are looking at you every day. You'll be on the when they are, we used to have something we were calling 21 markets. So, and they used to list based on performance. So you could be, depending on how you are. So you are in this room. Goes back to your point about so at one point I was the only African in that room. Not African. I don't think I was the only African, because Gerald was reading South Africa then. So there were three Africans. The guy I took over from Ghana, Gerald and myself. So each of us was leading a market. And now you're in the room with a person who you used to report to. But that's not the issue. You're all in that list. So then the CEO is looking around the room, global CEO. And there's nowhere to run. There's actually nowhere to run. But at least at the time, So going back to the transition, so bigger role, very, very visible because of the brand you are dealing with and how important it is to the global business. Big market, yeah. Nigeria is a vibrant place, yeah. So, and the issues that we are dealing with externally were massive. So now that now you have to draw on all your experiences from working in the UK to working in strategy to being in sales to your first GM role to your finance role, so many times you just have to say, look, and then also get the best team. I actually had a very, very strong team in Nigeria. Some of them is one my finance director used to report. When I was a group finance director here, I used to report to that guy. He was the Africa guy. He left, then came back to support us because there was something happening in Nigeria. So this is someone I used to report to. Now he was reporting to me. So all those dynamics you have to deal with. And half of the guys were expatriates. So a lot of talent dynamics, market dynamics. But and also you still have to manage family, school, etc. Yeah. But actually, it was one of the best exposures because I learned, you have a view about countries. Nigeria is a brilliant country. People are fantastic. Great family foundations. Yeah.
Great family foundations.
Family foundations. And also intensely competitive. You think they're aggressive, but actually intensely competitive. One of the guy who took over in Ghana, I asked him, so why are you guys like this? He told me, you're taught by your mother, you need to look after yourself. We are 200 million of us. If you don't look after yourself, you might not get food. So it's actually a survival piece also. But at an underlying level, a fantastic group of people, and then they keep relationships. The girl who used to work for us, the house help, still sends my wife messages today. Happy birthday, Mom.
Wow.
Up to now. And we left in 2018, which is many years back. Yeah. And then
who do you and people can't see me, so I'm doing in quotes. Who do you cry to when you're at that level?
So,
because you can't go complaining to the guys under you.
Yes. So in a way, as I said, you need to see what help is available. So Diageo had a lot of leadership development. So there is access to help. Like I had a coach who also used to support my team.
Okay.
Which is very, very good because the coach tells you the truth about how you are leading, but also how the team is working. So there's a coach. You always have to have one or two mentors who are outside of the business and the industry. Yeah? Like when I was trying to make a decision whether I should go to Australia or Nigeria, yes. Yeah? So that's very, very important. So you keep a set of trusted people. And for me, I play that role to people. Yeah, because they know I'll tell them the truth. And it's people you trust. They may not be friends. They could be business, people you came across during your business relationships and so on and so forth. So mentors. And then the third is seek help. The organizations always have ways of supporting. And then one of the other things that I learned in West Africa, because that's when I became CEO, we had a CEO forum. So we would meet every two months. And in fact, we increased it to monthly, which is just sharing war stories, issues that we are facing, some of the things. Because
these are not CEOs within Diageo. These are CEOs.
No, CEOs across the industry.
Okay.
Yeah, because you are facing similar issues. Currency is the same issue. People issues. Are you able to recruit talent? What is going on? Oh. It's the same issue. It's like politicians meeting.
Yes,
they are sharing the same experiences.
So this CEO forum within the country. So
within the country. Within the country. Even here we do a lot of that.
Okay.
We have different groupings. So making sure that you have groups of people or individuals that you're attached to that are different, because you can't rely on one. Because they won't see the whole problem. There's no one who will see the whole problem. And then people will understand you differently, and you'll get different items. And then the other one is your spouse. Your spouse actually knows a lot more about you than you ever think. So generally, instinctively, especially from an advice perspective, they will always give advice. And my wife has always been, you need to be aware, you need to watch for this, or even sometimes you need to look after yourself.
Wow.
That could be just thrown in there. Then you kind of, bloody hell, I'm actually pushing it too much. And so...
But roles like this,
Yeah.
and I just want to be frank with you.
And sometimes also, your ordinary people like your PA give you very, very nice advice. Like, no, that's not a good thing to do.
Wow.
So some ability to listen for intent rather than who the person who is telling you. So it's not about who is telling you. It's actually, this person owns me enough to tell me the truth. Because a lot of times CEOs are not told the truth. They are just managed, and actually you kind of, by the time you realize you are being managed, you've been managed enough. And then many times, I'm very good at it. Many times, I know I'm being managed, and I play along. I still remember that when we landed in Nigeria, and when I went for one of the CEOs forum, he told me, your business, you need to watch your suppliers. I think you're getting not a very good set. Then I listened to the team internally and so on and so forth, what they were telling me, because we had contracts. When you're in consumer goods and in drinks, you send product long distances. You can imagine 1,000 kilometers away. So logistics is a very big thing. So we used to have lots of trucks. And I listened in the room, and I kind of thought, what's going on here? And what I realized, employees had trucks. I figured it out. And based on the behavior that I was seeing in the room, depending on the decisions that I wanted to make. So then I said, okay, I'm going to remove this type of contract. And then everyone, there was an outcry, and I said, the last time I checked, I'm the one who is assessed if we deliver performance. So if we miss it, it's fine. I'm happy to. And we delivered performance without any problem. So sometimes you have to use
You're a sharp one.
wisdom rather than analysis. By the way, all the numbers will look very nice. The business cases are very good. But sometimes it's behavior that tells you, why is this person creating a crisis? When I hear someone come tell you have to approve now, I usually say, no, I'm not approving, unless you tell me why I should approve now.
Wow.
Because usually you create a crisis so you approve something. But that's when I refuse to approve. I say, no, I'm not going to approve. If I knew and we were already working on the matter and it was just urgency, that's fine. But when it's out of the blue and I'm being told, I don't know, the crisis is
Rookie
going to come.
mistakes.
Yes. Will come and yes, actually that was the other rookie. You panic. There's a crisis and you panic. But all those things I described, I came across them. Fatalities,
Wow.
big problems with, and actually Diageo, to be honest, was very good on safety. But there's a time we had an incident that really changed the way that I look at safety. And but basically all those elements that I was were being described, I come across. So you kind of say, well, if I had more stripes, I would add. But the problem with those things is when it does happen, despite the experience, it's still emotionally draining. Because losing life is not great. But you can see the signs from very far with experience. And you become much more honest with yourself.
I want to ask this one. I think this one is important. And you can share to the level at which you want to. Roles like this break up families. How how have you been able to keep yours intact? So as you succeed in career,
Yeah.
business, how are you also succeeding in family?
It's not easy. By the way, it's actually not easy. The reason I say that, first of all, by moving family, you're already disrupting spouses' careers. That's first. You have to understand that. Secondly, you have to have a conversation and say, what are the kind of priorities. And I remember we had a conversation with my wife about she can still work, so she started working on this with the same company in Ghana, which was good. But then when we went to Nigeria, she decided to study. So she's done a PhD as a result of. So when we were in Nigeria and also in Amsterdam, so because my next role was continental Europe, so at least she was able to utilize the time that she had to study. But there's a lot of personal sacrifice on the spouse, and also to also understand, also understand that the family always has to be comfortable and it has to work. If it doesn't work, then there's a problem. When we were coming back from Amsterdam, it was very good because my wife was very happy. She was about to finish her PhD. She was going to come and do her thesis here in Kenya, which was great.
Also Amsterdam, then Safaricom.
Yes. And then our son was going to come here and feel he can experience. So he spent a few years here.
He hadn't been here.
He hadn't been here. He was born in this country.
And then you out,
left
Ghana?
left 2.5 years when he was 2.5 years. So really, had seen Ghana, Nigeria, Europe, or Netherlands, and the rest of Europe, whatever it is. So to actually bring him here back was very important. So now he can say I'm Kenyan, and I have Kenyan friends, not just Kenyan relatives. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's actually not easy, and it's not easy for two reasons. One is on the individual, like me. So you go through ups and downs in terms of, and this is why I've said you learn how to look after yourself, because you push yourself to. So like today, I had booked gym.
Yes.
The reason why you see that is I book physical exercises in my diary. And I have learned that if you don't do that, the diary will be occupied. And also, if the diary is occupied and you don't have time, you shouldn't think life and work. You think one life. Because work is part of life. Because you spend 70% of your time working or interacting with people during work. So family is a delicate thing, and it's always tuning in and understanding where the pressures are. Because actually, even when you were living Netherlands, coming back to Kenya, I remember because our son told me, why are we going back to Kenya? Because I've gotten a job in Kenya. And then, but Diageo has been very nice to us. We went, I don't know where, because it's actually a good employer. And why can't you decline the job? And the reason for that is because he was also, remember that stage of life for kids, he was also getting to a stage where he was starting to develop his friends. So kids also move at a certain time. Yeah. So beyond, if you uproot them, so like when they are young, it's okay, it's very easy. When they become teenagers, that's a problem, because then they start developing relationships and so on and so forth. And so family is not easy, but also the advantage of also being away is that you are together. And also you can travel, like we traveled around the world to many places. We would never have gone if we had not been away. And also I started also getting things I could do with my son, like golf. Stuff we could train together. One time we did taekwondo together for many years, actually, for a few years. And but it's not easy, I have to be honest. So my wife, you have to have a spouse that's understanding and forgiving in the context of disruption, because there will be disruption. Because if you don't accept that there are disruptions, it will show. And this is why even every time I try and get an expert to work, I always say, are you bringing your family? Are you mobile? Are your kids mobile? And are you comfortable?
Wow.
Because if you don't, there's no that secondment is not going to go the right way. But it's not easy. It's actually not easy. And including coming back to your home country, it's still a transition. Because remember, even for your family, but
wait.
before I went,
we're coming back. Let's change this battery.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
No. Let's just change his battery.
Oh,
then he does Safaricom. Shouldn't have told him it's 7. Okay.